What's going on YouTube? It's Giga here, bringing you some Series 10 Wi-Fi battles. Today we are using a Zacian team that I'm using in the Battle Frontier tournament. So while I'm waiting for my opponent to get set up, just wanted to quickly talk about this team. I can't obviously show the rental because all of my teams are a little full. So just quickly talking about the team. It is a really bulky Zacian with the idea that Zacian can actually tank a lot of hits and still dish out a lot. So what we can do is we can beat standard, really offensive Zacians using Behemoth Blade and not getting KO'd by theirs. We are going to beat any Incineroar that doesn't have a choice band, even at neutral. And we are just going to be able to beat things like Xerneas at +2, as well as Calyrex Shadow, just due to the sheer amount of damage output that Zacian naturally has, as well as the bulk. We do have Incineroar. I think Incineroar is pretty standard on most teams, just due to the fact that it just offers so much pressure. It is a standard set with Fake Out, Snarl, Flare Blitz, with the idea that, hey, we want to cycle Intimidates onto things and really let Zacian set up. We do have Rillaboom, another really standard Pokemon with knockoff, with the idea that this is also, if we look at it, a really specially bulky Rillaboom. It can do things like tank Calyrex Shadow hits at +2. It can tank, I think, Xerneas is at +2 as well. So just having the reliability of surviving and getting up grassy terrain to help recover is really huge. We have Politoed. Politoed is great, survives a +2 Moonblast from Xerneas, and it also has Haze to eliminate a lot of stat boosts, as well as Parasong. I think Parasong is a really big win con for this team. For anything it really struggles with, we can kind of try and stall things out with that and then use that to our advantage. Finally, we do have a pretty standard Landorus with Earth Power, Sludge Bomb Protect. We also do have Stone Edge for things like Ho-Oh, as well as Tornadus to pick up the KO with a Fake Out to make it so they can't set up. And also, just like I said, have some really good coverage. And wrapping things up, we do have Kingdra with Icy Wind. Pretty standard set. It will outspeed Regieleki in the rain and just has a lot of really good damage. So yeah, with that being said, let's just kind of hop into a game and show off what this team can do. All right, ready to go with our match, and let's kind of see what our opponent brings. I feel like I take a lot of notes when I do tournaments. So we are going to see a Landorus with Zacian, Rilla, Incin, Feeny, and Thundurus. So I expect Thundurus to be supportive, and so what I'm thinking is Incin, Rilla's really big here. I could do Rilla Lando with Incin. Oh, not Incin. Zacian, Lando, Rilla, Incin. I mean, I only want Rilla for Feeny. So what I could do is I could actually do this, right? We do have for a second. So let's try that. Let's try with Incin, Rilla, Zacian, and Lando. The scary, like I said, the scary thing is going to be offensive Thundurus, but I feel like so many of them are going to be support, just due to the fact that Max Airstream is no longer a thing because of the fact that you need Fly and it's a 2-turn move. So we are going to see Tapu Fini Thundurus. So Fini, Lead, and Thundurus. This could be Swag Physical Fini. So let's see. They're going to get the Misty Surge off, so they are faster than Rillaboom, which is good to know. And what we're going to see, yeah, the big question now is, like I said, I do expect it to be support Thundurus. I would be really shocked if it is Defiant, right? Because that doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, so it is going to be support. I want to go for a Fake Out here, and I have like U-turn. Let's just go for a Grassy Glide. It's going to get good damage no matter what comes in. And we can kind of start to figure out what kind of sets my opponent has. So they do have Lando in the back. So back Lando. As we are going to see the fake out come out. So no protect from Feeney. And Feeney is going to take about 80%. 80% glide. And you have a Wiki Berry. Wiki Berry. So we have Nature's Madness. Nature's Madness. Okay, that's actually really bad. Just due to the fact that... What, Landorus? I think we switch out into Lando here. Grassy Glide. Because what I'm thinking is, this is actually really risky. Because now what my plan with this is the idea that we cover for an Earth Power onto Incineroar, as we do see. Okay, great. We do see the Earth Power come out, as they do reveal Icy Wind on the Rillaboom, and that did a lot onto what's it called, onto Landorus. And now I mean Feeney should be in the range of another Grassy Glide, so I want to go for that, because what we can do now is I say we go for a Stone Edge onto Landorus and a Grassy Glide onto Tapu Fini. We know what they have. We're going to see that come back, as they are going to send a Thundurus. So this is actually really good for us, because of the fact that we do put on a ton of pressure with this fake out, as we are hopefully going to pick up a knockout. Yeah, so we do knock out the Fini, which is really great for us, as we are going to get really big chip onto... we missed the Thundurus. Missing the Thundurus is really unfortunate. Yeah, because that damage would have probably put it in 2-hit KO range. As we are gonna see the Zacian come out on their end, and I think what we want to just do is put pressure onto the Zacian as much as possible by going for what is it called? We want to go for an Earth Power, as well as a switch into Incin. So back, we know that the Fini is gone, and they still have did I not get their... No, they don't have Landorus, so they could actually switch out to Landorus. But the fact that Incin switched out first suggests that they're not going to. We do see the Eerie Impulse from Thundurus, so Eerie, pretty standard. And we are going to see a Behemoth Blade come out, I'm guessing into the Incineroar, which is great for us. It's going to do not a lot of damage at all, as we are going to be able to connect with an Earth Power and do over half. That has to be a crit, right? That's not a crit? Wow. Zacian over half, -2 Earth Power from Lando. So I want to... I'm going to protect Landorus and swap out into Rillaboom? Does that make sense? Yeah, let's do this. I don't like that I'm not giving Zacian... Yeah, we are going to see the Zacian switch out. I think that does make a lot of sense, as they are going to bring out their own Landorus, which is within range of Grassy Glide from Rillaboom. So I think we do have a good way to beat them in the end game, as we are most likely going to see another Eerie Impulse from their Thundurus, We do see a Thunderbolt come out into Rillaboom, which does really not that much. But now, what? We are in an... Oh, no, because we do have priority. We do have priority. Oh, we do not have priority. We can go for a Stone Edge into Thundurus and go for a Fake Out into the Landorus. Because what I need to have happen is if I can... We're going to see the Landorus Protect, because that's fine. So what I need to have happen is I need to get rid of their Thundurus. We are going to see an Eerie Impulse come out into my... What is it called? My Landorus, but that's fine because we do have Stone Edge. I guess ending up being for support Thundurus, as it does 3/4, no berry. 3/4 with Stone Edge, and it is Citrus. So we can go for another hit into you and then swap out into Ensign. Ensign is so healthy at this point that your obvious choice is just to go for an Earth Power into the Rillo slot. We are going to see Thundurus swap out into Zacian, which is fine because that means Zacian is going to take the -1 as a result of Intimidate from the Incineroar. So we can kind of play around with that a little bit more, right? So we do get that off. The fear actually though is if they go for... What is it called? They go for an Earth Power into Ensign. We do see the Sludge Bomb come out, so that's actually really good for us, as we don't take a ton of damage, and we unfortunately do miss the hit on Zacian. So now is the question of... I say we... What is our endgame plan? Can they pick up a double knockout? I say, I honestly want to sack Ensign. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to protect Lando and go for a Flare Blitz onto Zacian. Because I'll beat their Zacian in the end game with mine. And so having Rillaboom out will put us in a really good spot, because then Rillaboom can deal with... We do see the Earth Power come out, right? So that's good, because we do have Grassy Glide to deal with their Landorus, and we do have our Ensign to... I mean, not our Ensign. We do have our Zacian to deal with them, so we can bring out Rillaboom, get some recovery. This is going to be a little bit tricky, though, just due to the fact that... what is it called? We are going to be at -4 special attack, but I can't afford to bring out Zacian versus them quite yet. Luckily, they are neutral. So what we can do is we can go for an Earth Power here and Grassy Glide into their Landorus. This is going to be a little risky. What they could do is... No, because you need to get rid of my Lando, because your... what is it called? Your Thundurus cannot touch it. And so what can happen is they can Behemoth Blade into... We are going to see Landorus withdraw. I think that does make a ton of sense. You are going to bring out Thundurus. Thundurus hopefully takes a good amount of chip damage from a Grassy Glide. It's going to be not effective at... Oh, wow. That did a lot. Oh, it was a crit. We are going to see a Behemoth Blade come out. The question then is, where does Behemoth Blade go? Most likely into Rillaboom. Okay, so that's really interesting, right? Because you are sacking Rillaboom here, as we do go for an Earth Power into Zacian, which does pick up the knockout. So this is an interesting spot, right? We do have Zacian left versus their Landorus and my so they have Landorus Thundurus versus my Zacian and my Lando. So what I'm thinking is we Sludge Bomb Thundurus and go for a Behemoth Blade into their Landorus, right? We can live in Earth Power, and so Yeah, because this now you rely on paralysis. I actually should have protected Zacian this turn. Because we are going to see the Earth Power come out. It is going to... Oh, wow. I did not expect it to pick up a crit. So that was a misplay on my part. We are going to knock out their Thunderous. Yeah, that was a huge misplay on my part. I should have... That was an easy protect that I completely missed. But now we can go for a Stone Edge. Yeah, I mean, we have to go for a Stone Edge because it is going to be neutral. We do see the Sludge Bomb come out from them. 65 down to 13. As Stone Edge is going to connect and pick up the KO. Nice. Quick GG to my opponent. As Lando will go down to the recoil. Which, I mean, hey, it was the last thing on the field. And that's all that matters. So they brought Lando, Thunderous, Feeny, and Zacian. So what I'm thinking for game number 2, I really like the Water Core of Politoed with... Like, Politoed Ensign just does really... I mean, not Politoed. Ensign Rilla just does really well into a lot of what my opponent can do. Especially knowing how their Thunderous works. Honestly, I don't see a reason to change. I'm just trying... What could they do? They could lead their own Ensign Rilla, which is why I'm tempted to lead... Politoed Kingdra. And then Rillaboom, what? Rillaboom deals with their... I feel like then I have to bring Landorus. Right? Because I'm giving up... I'm letting... I could just switch it up and have Lando in the lead. No, I want to actually lead with... Let's do Lando Rilla with Ensign and Zacian. Yuri, we know you have T-Wave. And Lando... KO Ensign or Zacian with Earth Power. Okay, so this is an interesting spot, right? Because I think it's just going to be double fake outs into the Landorus's. So I want to go for... I want to Earth Power into Incineroar and fake out into Landorus. So we do see Lando, or where is it? Lando lead with Incin. Yeah, I'm going to try and fake out into Lando. So we are going to see no switches. I think that makes a lot of sense. We do get hit with a fake out in return, pretty expected. And now what I'm thinking is I'm gonna Earth Power is really... They could call the Thunderous. They could call the switch and swap out to Thunderous. So I'm gonna play it safe with a Stone Edge and a Grassy Glide into their Landorus. We are going to see Ensign withdraw, most likely into Thunderous. Yep, so we do see Thunderous in the back, which means their final thing is going to be Zacian. We are going to get a big Grassy Glide off into their... not as much as I would have liked, and connect with Stone Edge to do over half, even with no crit. And I'm guessing does put it in berry range. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Yeah, Lando is a really good option here. We're going to see sub on Lando. Sub. So what we can do now is we can go for another hit into you and go for... Yeah, let's just glide into the Lando again, because we know that Behemoth Blade beats it. We are going to see the Eerie Impulse come off, which I think is fine. I'm relying pretty heavily on Stone Edge damage right now, which is a little bit awkward because of the chance to miss. And we do break sub. We get a fun little critical hit, and we are going to get rid of the sub on Zacian. Not Zacian, onto their Landorus, as we do break, or we do hit with the second Stone Edge onto Thunderous, as we do see the Sludge Bomb come out onto Rillaboom, which I think after Grassy Terrain, it is close. So I say one more time, we just go for a Stone Edge here, as well as a Grassy Glide into the Landorus. And we're probably going to see the Landorus switch. So in that regard, it might have been worth it to switch out. Yeah, we are going to see Landorus switch out. Probably, okay, we do see Zacian come out, which is a little bit scary, right? Because we are now at -4 in terms of special attack. But if we can get rid of... Oh, okay, so they're going to switch. They're going to double switch into Instant as well, which less than ideal. But the question is, we do have Stone Edge with a high chance to critical hit. I don't think that is impacted by sheer force, as we do get a cute little amount of chip, and Stone Edge is going to connect, and unfortunately no crit. So the big question now is, who do we switch where? What is Lando at? Lando's only at -2. So I'm actually going to go for an Earth Power into the Zacian and swap out into Incineroar. Just with the idea that they could go for a Fake Out. Their best play is Fake Out into Landorus and then go for a substitute with Zacian. But even then, we can double up into the Incineroar the subsequent turn, as we do see the sub come out from Zacian, but we are going to see no Fake Out. So that's interesting. We are going to break the sub there, which is really good for us, as we do see a Parting Shot come out onto Landorus, and I'm guessing what they're going to do is they're going to bring out Thunderous, with the idea that you can go for a Parting Shot, not a Parting Shot, and another Eerie Impulse onto Thunderous, just to kind of lower the amount of damage. Oh, okay, so they bring out Landorus, which is an interesting call in my mind, right? Because we do have a Fake Out from... We do have a guaranteed Fake Out, so what we can do is... Yeah, let's swap out, because I do want to preserve Intimidates for later in the end game. Getting rid of Thunderous, getting rid of Landorus is the biggest threat to my Zacian. And then, yeah, let's kind of see how this turn plays out. We are going to see Behemoth Blade come out, I'm guessing into Thunderous. Not Thunderous, into... Yeah, they are going to go into Lando, which is unfortunate. But we now... What? Did they call the... Okay, so they went with Earth Power. So that's actually fine. We should take that. We are going to take that really well. And what we can do now is we do have a lot of pressure onto both of these things, right? We can go for a big Flare Blitz. We can go for a Grassy Glide onto their Landorus with Rillaboom. And we can go for a Flare Blitz onto Zacian. I think we should still go for... We should go for a Fake Out either way, in the event that Landorus protects. So I'm going to just go for a Fake Out here, as well as go for a Grassy Glide into Landorus, right? I think from where Thunderous is at, it shouldn't be able to... So we are going to see Instant come out, which I think is fine. It's just about, I think, getting as much chip as possible. And if we can... Yeah, that's what I was worried about. I was worried about Landorus going for the Protect, as we are going to see their Ensign come out pretty freely. We could... What? We can double up into their Ensign. We can double up. I say we go for a Parting Shot, and... No, I want to get rid of Lando. I'm going to go for a Flare Blitz here and go for a Grassy Glide. One of these... We are going to see Ensign go for a Fake Out onto the Rillaboom. I think that makes sense. And probably an Earth Power from Landorus onto Ensign. Ensign does not hold on, which is going to be a little bit tricky, as we are going to... What? We are going to be able to now bring out Zacian. And this is a really good spot for my opponent. They led with Lando, Ensign, Zacian. Okay, so they led with Lando, Ensign. They have Thunderous. Lando, Ensign. I think Rillaboom is more important. So now what we can do is we go for a Sacred Sword onto the Incineroar slot. Or, I actually expect Incineroar to switch out. So I'm going to set up a substitute and go for a Grassy Glide onto Landorus. Because now what I'm thinking is if you bring out Thunderous, right? Thunderous is supposed to be really good into Zacian. We are going to see Lando gets a Protect off, which was, I think, really smart on their part to go for a double. And Zacian is going to set up a sub. We are going to see Flare Blitz come out, and it is, I'm guessing... Okay, so it isn't a Zacian. And what? Is Zacian at +1? Zacian should be. So we actually can Sacred Sword into them. Right? I think they're trying to stall out the Grassy Glide turns, which makes a lot of sense, but Zacian is... Oh yeah, Zacian's at +1. So we actually just Sacred Sword into the Ensign slot and go for a Grassy Glide into the Landorus. I think this is going to be really, really tricky. We are going to see the withdrawal of Lando into Zacian. And we do get a little bit of chip onto it. I'm guessing they're probably going to switch out Ensign into... Oh, they're not going to switch out Ensign. So that's actually a really interesting play because of the fact that we should pick up the KO, right? So we pick up the KO onto Incineroar, and now they have Thunderous. Oh, no, because what you... You can double... Because this is a tricky spot now, right? Because of the fact that I know that Zacian gets one shot by their Landorus. But at the same time, like, so does Rillaboom. So they are going to bring out Thunderous, which is interesting to me. I think I don't actually care too much about Thunderous because of the fact that, what is it called? I am already slower than... I already am slower than their Zacian. So we are going to see the Thunder Wave come out. So this is now actually a question of, am I going to get paralyzed? Because we should be able to live a Behemoth Blade from them. Right? It is going to be close unless they are... Oh, okay. So that was really smart. That actually should win them the game. Because at this point, they can just bring out Thunderous. I mean, not Thunderous. They can bring out Landorus, and we cannot live the double up. Because we saw that earlier from game 1. So this Thunderous is putting in a ton of work. And yeah, a little bit unfortunate because yeah, we can't... They are going to be faster, so they are going to have the guaranteed both Thunderbolt as well as the Earth Power to pick up game number 2. And so what I'm thinking is what I have to. I feel like the Rain Core is so valuable here. I could do Rain Core with Thunderous, I guess. I mean, not with Thunderous. With Landorus. No. Sure, I'll take. Sometimes I take lead cards. Yeah, Zoopals one more time. Because everything we've seen suggests that have they ever they didn't lead Thunderous the second game. So I want to actually lead Politoed Kingdra with Lando Zacian. This is going to be a little bit risky, I think, especially due to the fact that they have Thunderous with Thunderwave, because it's just like, okay, I now have to worry about Kingdra losing its speed advantage, but I'm hoping that this lead gives us a good way of dealing with them. Sorry, someone just texted me. So I feel like I want the Rain Core. It is a little bit frustrating to lose. What is it called? To lose the Incin. I think that's a pretty big hit. But we do have Politoed, and I think Politoed can hope. I mean, what? We're now risking. The big question is, where's Thunderous? Thunderous lead is scary. Thunderous in the back is fine. As we are gonna. Okay, so we're gonna see Lando with Rillaboom, and so this is a pretty decent spot to be in. I think no, because the obvious play is to fake out. You want to fake out into Kingdra and switch into Thunderous. So from this position, I have to bring out Lando, and this is really risky. I should be able to live an icy, not an icy wind. I should be able to live a, what is it called? A grassy glide. So we are going to get in Landorus. We are going to see a protect from their Landorus, which less than ideal. I would have liked to have gotten the speed drop on that. And the fake out comes out onto Kingdra. So this is actually a good position because they don't know that I have Ice Beam. I mean, not Icy Beam. They don't know that I have Icy Wind. And what I can do is I threaten with Sludge Bomb here. And I don't even need to go for... Yeah, I just have a ton of... I think I just have a ton of damage either way. If they switch out into... I mean, what? They can switch out Rillaboom into Zacian. And now they know I don't have Incineroar, which is valuable information from them. But at the same time, I do have the ability... We are going to see Landorus switch out, as it is going to be Thunderous. So they are going to lead with Lando, with Rilla, with Thunderous in the back. We are going to take a Grassy Glide into Kingdra. Kingdra is going to live. We are going to connect the Hydro Pump onto Thunderous and hopefully pick up a knockout. God, Thunderous is so bad. Or Kingdra is so bad. Why do I use this thing? Okay, so we are going to unfortunately not do that much damage. And Sludge Bomb... not where I would have liked it. So this is actually really tricky, right? We know that... I think the play is to Sludge Bomb into Rillaboom and protect with Kingdra. Because I want to get... If I can get rid of... Let's see. Okay, so we are going to see no switch out. We are going to see most likely a Grassy Glide. Okay, so we do see the Eerie Impulse come out into Kingdra. So that's really, really big for us. As they are going to Grassy Glide into Landorus. Landorus, not as well as I would have liked, but we are going to be able to pick up the knockout onto Rillaboom. So at this point, we know that they have... what is it called? They have Rillaboom... Oh, no. We know that they have Thunderous and Zacian in the back. So Kingdra being faster is pretty big if we can get off an Icy Wind. I think if we can get off an Icy Wind, we are in a really good spot to win this because of the fact that, okay, so we do see their Zacian come out. We know we can do a ton of damage with Earth Power into their Zacian, so we need that, and we need to not have them. Okay, so they went for an Eerie Impulse, and they went into Kingdra. So this is great, because I don't care about Kingdra. I need to hit the Icy Wind onto Zacian. And we do hit it, so this is huge, because now Zacian should go down to an Earth Power from, from Landorus, right? And Landorus should outspeed. We are going to see a little bit of lag, as we do, come out with the Earth Power to pick up a knockout onto Zacian. So this is really great, right? We have a Thundurus, which is super low, that can't deal with Landorus, and they just have their own Landorus in the back, which is still very scary. But I think if we can get the drop onto it, we should be good. So what we can do is we can go for a Stone Edge onto Thundurus, and Icy Wind makes more sense. I'm going to go for Icy Wind, just because if we can get the speed drop, we don't actually need that, because what, Politoed can come in. Okay, so we do see the Protect, which I think is fine. We just want to try and get a little bit more chip, and they do correctly go for Thunderwave onto Kingdra, which was definitely the right call. We are going to luckily connect with Stone Edge onto Thundurus, which is going to pick up the knockout, and now they just have Landorus versus a Zacian at the back, which is going to be faster. And then they can't, they can't pick up the double knockout here. We are going to lose our speed boost, so Kingdra is going to be dirt slow. But the question, because you have to target into one thing, because you only have single target from the Landorus. So what we can do is, our Landorus is really low, but we go for a Stone Edge onto you, and we go for another Icy Wind. Because my thoughts are, if we do see the Sludge Bomb come out, and the Sludge Bomb is going to go into Landorus, which I think is fine. Because now what happens is if we hit with Kingdra, which we unfortunately don't, but we can bring out Zacian, and Zacian, I think with Behemoth Blade, should be in a really good spot, right? Because we are going to be faster than Landorus, unless they're Scarfed, which we know they're not. And so we can just go for a Behemoth Blade here, as well as another Icy Wind in the event that we do need to rely on Politoed in the back. So, this should pick up the knockout, right? I know it isn't the most... I was going to say, it's not the most offensive Landorus Zacian, but it is enough to pick up the knockout. So, really great set to my opponent. It was a lot of really scary moments, and I am really glad we were able to pull this off. So, congratulations to them. I hope they do well in the rest of the tournament, and same to everyone else participating. And until next time, I hope all of you are wonderful, and I'll see you then.